Hi there, I'm Karsten. I'm the co-founder of Meta Startup Studio, and this is the 100K Academy where you learn hyper-practical skills of how to start, run, and grow a purpose-driven lifestyle business. Today's topic is how to launch a coaching program when you're first starting out, right? People come to us a lot and ask about, hey, I've done this coaching program and I've been trying to sell it, but it somehow nobody is jumping on it. Like, what's going on? Like, can you help me? Our first question will always be, and you may have heard this from us, have you done interviews? Have you done customer interviews? Have people told you they want this program? If not, find a link somewhere here of how to do customer discovery interviews. I think it was called How to Create a Program That Sells, How to Create a Coaching Program That Sells. I'll talk quite a lot about how to do these interviews there. So let's assume for the sake of this video, yes, you've done this. Then now my next question will be, show me how you're marketing it. And they'll show me, and often it will be like no CTAs, no clear calls to action of like what people should be doing, like booking a discovery call, click, doing something. If you don't tell people, they don't do. They posting irregularly, once a week. They use ChatGPT language, which sounds very sophisticated, but nobody connects to that. They drive straight to the offer, but people don't even understand that they are really an expert in that space yet. They don't see that in their profile somehow. So there's a lot of things that we see happening, often seemingly at random, right? And it's normal. It's normal. It's how we started, right? We just did random posting. We were hoping we would sell stuff, and it was logical for us at the time, and then we learned. So what I want to give you today is an actual framework of how you do this, and a mindset as well, because when you're first positioning a coaching program, you're not creating marketing and branding of yourself. You're positioning a sales launch, because if you heard in one of our other videos as well, you want to do customer discovery, and then you want to validate that people are actually willing to pay for that. And you want to go through this phase as fast as possible. So if you just do some branding without a heavy sales focus, it's going to take really long. And if you then find out after really long, nobody wants it, it will be so sad, right? So we want to really, I'm going to show you a format, a framework that lasts for 21 days of social media posting. And of course, when you launch something, you should never just activate one channel, right? All the relevant social media channels, they're just great and free. And, that's where people hang out and look for solutions, but also activate other channels. But for the sake of today, I'm just going to talk about the 21-day post framework on social media. Okay, so it's a very specific methodology, and it's very sales focused, and it ticks a bunch of boxes of industry best practices of what people need to learn about you to be able to make a buying decision, to be compelled to make a purchasing decision with you. So the first thing will be, and I'm going to dive deeper into this in a second, to establish yourself as an expert. You always got to start with building your authority, establishing yourself as an expert, show the world why they should believe anything you say about what you're talking about, right? Very important. Then you got to explain your offer to people, because it may be very, you may have gone through a deep process of figuring out, this is what I'm going to offer. This is the coaching program I've put together. It's masterful, but people don't understand it. People are like children, and you need to step by step, very logically explain to them why you're offering a program in that way and why that is amazing and the best way of doing it. Last but not least, once they understood you're an expert, once they understood, your offer makes a lot of sense, now still there will be lots of things in their brain, all the typical objections about, I don't have time, money, I need to support other people. Those will be all the fake answers, and people, the real things is they don't believe, they trust you, they don't trust themselves that they can do it, they don't trust your methodology, right? That's why we have yourself and the methodology already to create the belief into that, and we now just need to create the belief into them and show them what their brain is doing, and give them easy solutions for their objections, and create a bit of urgency, because we always like to let me think about it. That's the worst you can hear from somebody. You don't take this for an answer. When they say, let me think about it, you what is it that you're still thinking about? Maybe I can give you something because it may just delay their process of figuring out, oh, I actually need what this person has to offer, and they suffer for longer. It would be very mean of you if you let them suffer longer than they have to, right? So make sure you address objections and create urgency in the last step. Okay, 3 steps, right? And along these 3 steps, with the certain themes that I've just explained to you, there's also some general guidelines that you need to stick to, right? There's some general copywriting basics when you do sales copywriting. And you got to post daily, you got to have CTAs, you got to formulate this in a certain way, you got to use customer-centric language. And we have a masterclass actually on copywriting sales basics for you somewhere below, maybe in the video as a link. Check that out if you haven't done any copywriting courses yet. We've done a lot. Olga, especially on our business, is the copywriting queen, and she's done a lot of these, and we've put like some very valuable lessons together there for you. Anyway, moving to this 3-step framework that I talked about, right? Step 1, establishing expertise. Step 2, explaining your offer. Step 3, creating urgency and tackling objections. That's the framework you want to use for every launch, not random post, this framework, right? If you want to make it most efficient, of course. Even random posts will get you a sale every now and then, right? That happens, but it takes much longer and it's a little less in your control. So week 1, and we do this in our Get Clients Bootcamp program, and we do this always in the first week of getting out there and posting and positioning your offer for the first time. You got to establish your expertise. So we say 7 days, 1 week, you just go hard on establishing authority and expertise in different angles, right? That could be, I'm not going to go into all the details here because we don't have time for that, but there'll be like, your story as an example. What is your story? Because oftentimes we're offering something that we ourselves have, experienced and probably overcome to some extent. Maybe we're still on the journey, but we already overcame, initial steps of that journey for sure. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to offer this to people, right? So you can tell your story and explain how it was, what you did, how you overcame, be the hero of your story. You came from shit and you made it to greatness and you used this methodology. And by the way, that's what I'm offering in my program. And that's already something, right? If you haven't helped anyone else, you've helped yourself, and that's already credibility. That's already authority. Like, who else, what else can give you authority, right? Being associated with a certain organization, association, having certain partners, if you have coached internally, if you're a coach, for example, if you coached internally in your company people just for free even, right? I've been coaching in my big name company that everyone knows, and I've done this. This also gives you authority, right? What else? Education, right? If you have some degrees of further education or courses that you've taken that give you more credibility and authority in that space, talk about those. Your own results, right? So as a case study, basically, all kinds of angles, 7 different ways of talking about why you're an expert in this topic, why you are an authority, why people should believe anything that you're saying here, right? And that's going to be the very first most important step. Now, you do this for 7 days across all the social media where people can reach you. Don't be afraid to just copy paste. There's different character limitations, so you may need to shorten things, but really spam across networks because you want to get the word out, right? And in the beginning, you often don't know which network is going to be the hottest. You will have a good idea if you have done customer discovery. You may have understood from people. If you are kind of the person you're targeting yourself a few steps back, you will know where you're looking for solutions, which social media is most prominent for you. But you're really going to have to experiment to confirm. So having said that, week 2 is all about establishing your offer, presenting your offer, explaining your offer, establishing trust into your offer. So you want to talk about what's the problem you're solving for people, right? And this again comes back to the interviews that you've done, right? Speak in their language about the problems they're experiencing and explain how your offer tackles that. Make an offer at the end of every post, obviously. Results, explain what were the results that people were telling you they would love to have, they would love to get. Give them the why, give them some emotional desired end state that this can help them get to, right? Get their buy-in from yes, I really want that. This is a path there, cool. Features, they want, people when they first came to us, they were they didn't want to do, we were not doing as much holistic business support as we're doing now. We were just coaching, right? And we were doing business coaching, but just through the mindset angle. And then they all told us they want websites and they want, sales pages and this and that. And at some point we just had to learn, yes, put that in there. And now in my marketing in week 2, I'm going to talk about how I'm giving them a website, how I'm giving them a sales page as part of my, and they're like, ooh, nice. That's exactly what I want, right? Even if maybe the mindset part will do the bigger impact for them, but they also really want that, and that's on their mind. So if you give that to them, it just creates more trust and desire for your offer. Features, talk about each feature, why it's there, in what order, why in that order. Like, talk about statistics, borrow authority from famous people who use the same, way of doing things, from research institutions, university articles that have been published that show percentages that support. Be scientific. People need to know this. People don't trust stuff anymore. Add this into your week 2 posts. Talk about your methodology, explain your method, be really logical about it here as well, right? People need to understand this from a logical standpoint as well. Week 3, now you've established authority for yourself and expertise. People trust you, kind of know what you're talking about. Then there is your offer. It really makes sense. Now, still their brain will not let them buy very easily. Life is busy. People have fears and insecurities and all of that, right? And people always come up with excuses. Anything outside of the comfort zone is always new and always like easy to postpone and procrastinate. So you're gonna want to make it easy for them to overcome those things. Give some urgency of time, and don't lie, right? Just give real urgency. Like, you know what? I'm doing this program for the first time, and the first time running it, it's at a 50% discount because I'm running it for the first time. I want to get some testimonials, and I want to, learn and get confidence and fine tune. And that's why I'm offering it at 50% of the price. It's only in the first round of my sales push, which lasts for 21 days, right? And now it's the last week of this 21 days. So you can say, hey, only 5 more days for this offer. And then afterwards, you can offer the same thing for, not the 50% discount, but a 30% discount. And then you can slowly move to your full price offering. But over time, you will get more confidence, so it doesn't feel like a difficult thing to do. And also the offer will become much better as you are working with people on it. You see what works, what doesn't work so well, you fine tune, you make it better, so this all grows naturally. You just got to get started. So you can limit time, you can limit spots, you can limit, only the first X to get this crazy discount or whatever. You can add only the first round will have like the additional website and all of that included for free. Afterwards, you're going to have to pay, for that. Yes, discounts I talked about. And then you got to tackle objections, right? Like, how could you be there actually more for your friends and family if you do this? How could you actually have more money if you do this? How could you actually, save more time if you do this? So there's a lot of things that we need to answer in terms of, time, relationships, money, objections that people will come up with, and also make it sound very easy. Anyone can do this, right? You can do this too. Anyone can do this. Bring this across. If you haven't brought this across in week 2, make sure to bring it across in week 3. And that's really a 3-step framework. In our bootcamp, we have like prompts that we apply to the specific person in their specific niche, like that they then have to make theirs basically, right? We have some prompts. We use our specific AI tool to modify those prompts, and then we look over them and we give them to you. Still gonna be work in there, but it's basically done for you type thing. But you can replicate that process as well for yourself at home. Try yourself out with that first and follow this process. It'll do magic for you, I promise. All right, so summary. Your first launch of a coaching program will not be a marketing push. It will be a validation push. You want to validate that people actually want to pay for this offer with money that you're putting out there. And it's a sales launch. It's not a marketing launch, right? And treat it as such. Establish yourself as an expert and authority, explain your offer, create urgency, and answer objections. And the next step, once you're doing this, the next step will always be people are reacting to your posts, right? Because that doesn't mean you're selling it yet. The posts are just creating this desire and this urgency for people and this interest. And then what happens usually is, some may just buy immediately. If you have an easy way for them to buy, they may just buy if they already know you and trust you. But most people will still gonna wanna have like a little chat with you. They will DM you on social media. They will wanna jump on a short call with you. And that's where sales conversation starts. And that's a whole nother topic. And there will be another conversation somewhere here where we talk about this more specifically, how to run sales calls. So check that out as well. That's the next step in the process. I hope you enjoyed. And again, take action now. Think about the 3 things you learned today. What would it mean to create 7 posts that capture those 3 things? Put them in a row, write them all out at once, schedule them, put them out there and see what happens. Enjoy. Peace.